and it's got a button to say stop broadcast.
That means broadcasting.
Yeah, it says live. Reload the page. Should be working. Did you? Oh, you left me. Oh, I see. You can make you big and me little. Okay.
So if that was his camera, we're still not broadcasting.
Here I am. It says live.
Well, it can't be. There's nothing there. Oh yes,
Yeah.
here we go.
See,
Okay.
told you. In
Right.
your face.
So hold on. What's this say? Be a part of the conversation. Join the audience for this hangout. So presumably that will just, if you click on that, take you to Google Plus, but we're not interested in that. This time.
Yeah. I don't think I've enabled comments. So I don't want them on this particularly. But if you go to the side, you can enable comments.
Right, but then you've got to control it on your dashboard.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't want comments.
So how do we know which mic it's using? Is it using the mic on your earphones or is it using the mic on your...
I don't know. If I take the earphones off.
No. What you need to do is take the PC into the bedroom.
Okay.
Yeah. And then when you're in the bedroom, stand next to the PC with the headphones on and go 1, 2, 1, 2. Then put the laptop down, walk to the other side of the room and go 1, 2, 1, 2. If it stays the same, it's coming through the headphones.
Okay.
If it doesn't, if it gets more distant, it's coming from the PC mic.
So I need to go into another room.
So you need to go into another room. I can monitor it from here, but shut all the doors behind you so you can't get stared at some feedback.
Okay. So testing 1 2 1 2. Testing 1 2 1 2. Testing 1 2 1 2. Testing. Try this mic. Testing 1 2 1 2. Testing. So which one is that? Let's see if we can get this out.
So it's the PC's mic.
Ah.
So it's not using. I don't know. Is that so good?
I don't know. Take these. So if I can take these off then, because they're not exactly comfortable.
Yeah. You don't need to
Wicked.
monitor what you're saying,
That's
and
good.
you can hear me because we're in the same room. Okay.
Nice. So you can use these things on your computer.
But I'd just be using them to monitor what the guy says to me.
Yeah.
Because there's a massive delay. So from the point of it broadcasting, so now,
yeah,
I'll show you. So what if you can put so I can see your lips. That's it.
Yeah.
Right. As you talk.
Yeah.
Put yourself on there.
Yeah.
as you're talking.
Yeah.
Your lips are moving pretty much in time with what you're saying.
Yeah.
In other words, although there's a fraction of a second delay for what I receive.
Yeah.
But it'll be presumably synced up.
Okay.
With the.
So I'm using a laptop mic, aren't I?
Yeah. Where's the mic on the laptop? Do you know? You should cover it up. So
no idea.
Don't worry about it.
Could be anywhere.
It feeds back. Right. 1 2 1 2. So we've got about half a second delay between what you're saying and what the person you're talking to is receiving. It's like not even a quarter of a second. Okay. That's fine. But you can probably remember what we've just had in our conversation. And if I go back to the live feed,
yeah,
and refresh it. So this is what people get.
Yeah.
We're into the, exactly. We're about we're about.
Oh dear.
Thinking back from the other feed. So that, what does that tell us? That tells us that we can't have the live feed unless it's muted, running on the same PC, and ideally it needs to be somewhere completely different. So why don't we have the live feed on the iPad for you to actually monitor?
Yeah.
Because if it's all going, frankly, it doesn't matter if the conversation's going really well and I can see him and he can see me and we're chatting away and it's all great, or she, or whoever it is. It doesn't make a blind bit of difference. If the feed isn't going out, who cares? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this bit, the bit that's on YouTube, is the critical bit.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, there's two people watching. So,
isn't that like you and me?
it's a hangout, so anybody can tune in if they want to. Frankly, this is boring, so who cares?
Oh. Why do people want to watch this?
I don't know, it's people are boring. People test to hang out. But we're broadcasting, so some people want to watch this thing, or meant to be there.
No.
Okay, anyway, right, so what I need to do then is I need to have something that's random. This could do with some headphones being plugged in as well.
Oh yeah,
because we'll have everything feeding back left and right. If we don't have, if I turn this up now, I guarantee it will interfere with something.
Yeah, well, we've got the iPhone.
Right, how do I get to my subscriptions? Get to you on this and see what this podcast is doing. Yeah, at least put it on something nice. Put it on the screen. Video feedback. It's not going to do it. You're looking at what's happened 2 minutes ago. So probably it's not even 2 minutes. So it's about 5 seconds, 6 seconds delay.
We've been looking at what's going on.
Yeah. Stick it on me if you want, because at least. So what? I'm a smoker. You care that people see my smoking paraphernalia.
Yeah.
Okay, can we get rid of your nails? Oh, God damn it.
Get rid of your attitude.
So we're having a tidy problem because we're on air. So it's tidying before and after rather than checking out.
Well, check about how it works.
Okay. Well, if I get the iPad, use that to monitor and have a pair of headphones plugged into the iPad, a big pair of cans, so it can block all the sound off. Where's another set of headphones?
I haven't got any to hand at the minute.
Yeah,
yeah, but I haven't got any to hand at the minute.
Okay, well, we'll put these little ones. So this needs to have a pair of. I need to turn it off. It will run for an hour, it won't lock itself if it's running. So now I need to go to subscriptions and then find all of Tom's, right? Subscribe to too much stuff. Start deleting some of these people. Find your home. Surely it would advertise you as a live stream.
I don't know. Maybe YouTube's
Maybe
decided it's too boring.
Unsubscribe to. Right. Oh, here we go. It has put it into it, so it does advertise it reasonably well. That's gone into the subscriptions. Excuse me. Okay. So.
It's so vain.
So that's giving us. You just chit-chatter.
Yeah, sure. What do you want me to talk about? I don't really know what to say. I'm not very good at talking on command. Can you give me something to say?
This is massively old. I mean, that's no good. Can't use that.
What's what?
This is, look at it. Listen to what you're saying and what I'm saying. And what's coming through the iPad is about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, easily.
Do I really sound like that?
Okay, so this is no use, is it? The iPad's useless.
It's like, have they started at the beginning when you just turn in?
No, it's live broadcasting. It says, and it's on. Look, there you go, live.
Yeah, weird. I don't know.
I mean, it is live. It's just got a delay. I mean, that's if you do something now, it's going to be permanently captured on that, and then in the ether for however long it takes to get to there. But what's happened, and it's going to get broadcast out of that. So technically, it is. Well, not even technically, it's live.
Yeah. Can I stop it now? Oh, okay.
You need to figure out how it all works. There's not very many opportunities to actually have the live stream working where we've got absolutely no incentive to talk about anything other than it working. So let's just make it work.
Okay. Oh.
Okay, so where do I get to? So for some reason it sticks it up to abreast down here.
As if it's landed on that thumbnail. Oh, that's better.
Well, this is as live as in, as you can see, my lips are now matched up. Point the screen to the screens just so you can. Well, it loses me. Can you actually capture me talking? If you can see while I talk, it should be. You can sort of roughly estimate the delay. It's a little bit of. There you go. So it's within. The guest gets you within milliseconds.
Yeah.
You say. Dancing.
That's really funny.
So it's within milliseconds. That's good enough. So the guests, you said there's not going to be any fuss with waiting 5 seconds for them to respond to your question because there it is. It's as quick as it can be.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. So my feed at the moment is this. So I'm the guest at the moment.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, you're the guest. I've invited you.
Right. So presumably then, this only goes out on the channel that's actually broadcasting it. In this case, Paula Tom's.
Yeah, so that go on my channel.
Okay, right. Let's have a look at what you can do then. So what can you do? So you've got stop broadcast in a massive red button. Makes you wonder how people press it.
And then you've got these bits. You've got your chat, your screen share, your showcase,
Screen share.
your Q&A.
What's screen share? That's presumably
Camera.
right. So click on screen share.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you were to share this, it just presumably will just go crazy feedback.
Out. Yeah.
So which part of your screen is that sharing?
I don't know.
Off air.
Oh.
No, back on.
Yeah.
All I did was share. No, it just was feeding back. Is it these?
Could be. Oh.
I've got stereo up. It's stereo. Should have just.
Oh, there was a error note in your app. This app couldn't open because it didn't provide the result. So then do you press cancel?
Yeah, but what I want to know really is is what's going out at this point.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? What's actually being broadcast?
Can you watch on tubes?
Let's hang out. Where are we up to?
It's quite delayed, isn't it?
No, I can skip it forward.
Ah.
I mean, that's still a little bit delayed. But
Why are there
what
more
have we
people
screen
watching
shared?
this?
I don't know. People watch anything.
Get a life or get a bed.
These people are watching you. Have some respect. Get a life or get a bed. These people might be watching at any. They could be anywhere. You say get a bed. It might be 1 o'clock for us. Go to bed. Go to bed, all of you.
We're not
What are you doing watching us? What's your problem? You mad? You watching this garbage?
It's like put EastEnders on or something.
Oh, don't say that. Hold on. So what's that? Cancel. Right. So how do I? What they do? Oh man, they make it look so easy. So what they do is they've got presumably a page open. Well, should we try that?
Okay.
Let's try that. Quick. What's the most graphic porn site?
I don't know. I don't watch porn.
Let's see what comes up top when you type in Flat Earth on Google. I know it's Bing. Edge.
It's weird.
Flat Earth Society, of course. Get the
all.
controlled opposition in first. Images of the Flat Earth.
Dome.
Right, what can we share? Let's just find an image. That's going to be the easiest thing.
Look at that.
Fine.
I like.
Okay, so we've got. I want to make it big. Well, let's just see how much of it shares when we go. So,
okay.
What do? We go back to Google.
Yeah, click on your face and go on here.
What's on here?
This side of it. Get your little mouse.
Oh, right, I see. Yeah.
And click on
Screen share.
that. I think maybe it's the screen that's behind this. So if you click on.
Can I sit down?
See if you
killing my back.
Yeah. Make that little. It seems to want to share this screen.
Oh, right. So in other words, you have to search on the Google tab, but it's so you have to search on Chrome. Is that what you're saying?
Presume so.
Okay, we'll just type in Flat Earth and see what comes up on Chrome.
Oh, is this searching for people?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't want to do that.
Maybe.
You're looking at.
Doesn't matter. Just pick anything.
Click.
That will do. Azimuth for equidistant map. Perfect.
Yeah. They named it that to piss people off.
Azimuthal.
Right, where's our little thing gone?
Here we go. Whoa! Yeah. Now we're talking. So click on that, and then click share.
And share that. You are screen sharing.
So
present to everyone, is it? Do we need
present to everyone.
Oh, it's changing on the thing. Yes, there we go. Right, so then we get up on here.
Oh, what happened then? Why did it move?
I don't know, because I swapped
Could it be audio sensitive? Because they said that when you start talking, it cuts across. No. Naffle.
Don't know.
So how do you stop? Oh, right. So if you just click on stop sharing.
Stop sharing.
And how does it decide who's are you deciding who's on camera, if so to speak?
Let's see.
So if you click on that, will it send to? I've forgotten that. What is
Yes.
that now? That's the guest view, isn't it? That's the guest
Oh, I
view.
thought that was YouTube.
No, that's not YouTube. That's the guest view. Oh no, it is.
No, it's YouTube. So.
Okay. So it's now sharing just a picture of me, and if I was talking on my microphone, which isn't plugged in and hasn't got anything connected to it, but if that computer that this is now connected to was talking, would we get both our audio? I suppose we mustn't we?
I presume so.
It would be a bit of a crap conversation if you only
Yeah,
had one mic working at a time, like a two-way radio.
Yeah, that'd be.
Okay, right. Share it back with us then. 5 people watching.
Yeah, no, it's not interesting.
Okay, right. So, wow, we've got. Keep it going. Let's get this Google Hangout thing down.
So, right, we've done screen sharing. So that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. So, what's the rule then? You have to search in a Google tab.
No, I think it's just the screen that you got this box from originally. So, because we were on there, just open a tab.
Okay,
So
I want to know what I do want to be able to do is to have the Q&A running. So a guest can say, not a guest, a viewer who's in the, let me get this right, a Google Plus viewer. Let's just test this theory because I don't actually know. I've never watched anything on Google Plus. Hangouts on air. It's back to create Hangouts, isn't it? Then what's this? It's back to shills. Why is every message from a shill? Why are they normal people?
Gives them something to do, doesn't it?
They're all the same people.
Yeah.
It's like I've suddenly got. Where is it? What do I click?
That little thing there. Yeah.
Oh no! Here we go. Oh, Lily White. Finally, a normal person commenting. And she's even being nice to me. Brilliant.
Oh, that's
Oh,
nice.
isn't that sweet? What's it on?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh, video log 9.
Born on a plane.
Oh.
The only one that's not flat Earth proof.
That's okay.
Paula.
You know, everyone's got their opinion.
Commented on. Let me get this straight. It's got to be with a picture like that. Honey Monster. I'm in two minds about this. Jared Frenson is either fat hamster-faced man that's just really attached to the globe, or a shill. But he seems like he's too thick to be a shill. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He seems a bit, and he looks a bit. But yeah, you've got Squeaker Alpha. I've responded to. It must be 100 messages from Squeaker Alpha, this shill, and then Tachyon Time Warp. Again, I must have responded to them 100 times. What's this? Good interview.
Oh, that's nice.
NASA and the Flat Earth. What's that? Oh, good, interesting video. Keep up the good work. So whenever you get a normal comment, it's just a nice comment.
Well, I've only got 10% battery left.
Where's this go?
This side.
Quick!
There we go.
Okay,
Yay!
right.
Battery.
I'm getting distracted by shill comments.
Yeah.
Right, so what was I actually
too.
supposed to be looking at? How it works on Google Plus. Here we go.
Yeah.
So here's my Google Plus front page.
Yeah.
Right, so how do I go into this?
Oh, I couldn't tell you. It's not on Hangouts.
Here we go. So if you go to,
there we go.
yeah, so what you have to do is go to yours, or when it's mine, obviously my front page, and then you go, but there's no Make your favourite moments.
There aren't any.
Gotta be pretty dull to find this stuff interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, right. How do we get the Q&A running?
Right, so I think you're pressing the Q&A.
Press it.
Now.
Opening
Opening
Q&A.
Q&A.
This feature is disabled.
That's okay. I don't really want.
Oh, I do. I want the Q&A. How do we enable it? Okay, YouTube, you can come to the rescue.
That's this chat. Does chat work?
Chat is.
What does chat mean? Shall I click it?
Oh, look.
Click chat.
Let's see if YouTube comes to the rescue.
Group chat. To all of it.
Mm.
Oh yeah, it's just a chat box. Okay,
No, that's perfect. But is it just between certain individuals, or is it between anybody watching? To interact.
Me, alright, hi.
You've written hi.
Yeah.
No, I think what this will be now is you've just said hi.
Well, I just said hi to you.
Well, we'll find out. This is me, isn't it?
Yeah.
You, live.
Where's
chat?
Yeah, one at a time.
Chat. So that's quite handy. So if, for instance, if you were having a 3 or 4 way conversation, so let's say you've got you and I hanging out, and you're in Dubai and I'm in the States, and you've got someone in Italy and you've got someone in France, and you want to say to the Italian, okay, what does this French wanker know about chicken? You know what I mean? But you don't want to say on camera, what does this French wanker know about chicken? To any French people watching, you do the best chicken. Anyway.
Nando's is the best.
I don't think you can count Nando's as a country, though.
I don't know.
Right, so here we go. So you're saying hi. So in other words, let's use our fake spaceman in space example.
Yeah.
If we've got him, you, and me chatting, that's better than French and Italian. You could pipe up without actually saying anything. So as the admin, you could come on camera if needed be, because you've got a camera in front of you and you're part of the chat. But if you were just there as an admin, does that make sense? Yeah. You could say to where'd you type? Just in this. So you could say, please can you turn up your mic? There you go. So, it just means that you don't have to interject in the conversation if you've got a chat box. I like that. I think that's handy. I love chat boxes because I'm an AOL through. I've still got an AOL email address. Yeah. Okay, that's cool. Right, well, okay, so that wasn't what we wanted, though. Q&A is what I want. What I want is whoever's on this part of the feed. I've lost my little mouse. Where is it? Google Hangouts. Here we go. So, no, that's the actual video. That's my guest feed. It's complicated being 2 people at once. Your smiling face. Your battery's running low. Yeah. What's going on? You turned it and did not turn it. It's not plugged in. It is. Well, how come I just clicked it then? I did it before. You clicked it before and then I clicked it again after. Yes. Is that right? Right. What I want is this to be able to, as a viewer, because at the moment I'm just a viewer. This is my viewer feed, right? Yeah. I need to be able to go, "Oi, dickheads! Talk about the flat Earth." So that's just the kind of jive I want in my feed. People to I want people to whip us into shape if we're talking about garbage and go, "Stop talking about babies and stop talking about shills and stop talking about politics. Just tell us what the map looks like." Tell us why they haven't gone to bloody moon. That's what I want people to be barking on about in my feed. Telling us what's what and what they actually want to know, rather than me chatting about what I want to chat about. Them saying, "Oh, this is boring. When are we going to get to talking about Flat Earth?"
Well, they can turn it off if they don't like it, can't they?
That attitude. That's a shit attitude. That's everyone else's attitude. They can turn it off. It's like, that's why I don't delete the Shills comments. Some people just delete them completely and don't let them. It's like, why not? You know, we might be nuts. You know, it might boil down to them going, look, yeah, here's a picture of the globe. Look, this guy's Joe Public. We've sent him up in a rocket with a fucking Kodak camera. Here's his photo. Now shut your mouths, dickheads. You know what I mean? It might come down to that. I doubt it. I very much doubt it. But you never know. Stranger things have happened. Or, for all we know, right, this is a theory I've never bounced off you, but it's something I've thought for years. The whole matrix thing, in the truest sense of the word, if we are computer generated, if this is computer generated, there's a theory that says that we are, in the same way aliens are mathematical certainty, there's a theory that says we are equally mathematically there's an equal mathematical certainty that we're in a simulation, that this is all nonsense. And for all we know, up until, let's call it the 25th of, no, let's call it a date that people remember, let's call it 2012, January 1st, 2012. For all we know, it was a globe. It genuinely was a globe until January the 1st, 2012. And simulation just changed, and they decided, let's go back to Flat Earth for another 500 years. And they just decided to change the entire simulation and then skew all the proof the other way. And then, if that's the case, you get people like Jesse Spots noticing the flaws, noticing the Mandela effect, which I think is horseshit. You know, just noticing stuff that's not changed. You've just been. It's the way the information's fed to people. I think the Mandela effect. Most of America think Nelson Mandela died. I didn't. My dad didn't. You didn't, because we're in the UK, and because they're not fed the same news we are, they must have just slipped into the back of people's consciousness. One person starts a rumor because he's never in the news that he's dead in jail. Next thing you know, everyone thinks it, and then suddenly it's the Mandela effect. No, it's just disinformation. It's just people being wrong, people not having the right information to begin with.
How come, like, the sun doesn't melt the satellites?
Well, we're into some Flat Earth talk now. We just can actually do Mark's Marvelous both in shop then.
Might as well go.
You want some Flat Earth talk? Why doesn't the sun melt satellites? I don't think there are any satellites.
Yeah, but there's supposed to be satellites out there all around the world.
There's a few theories I've heard.
Like
One is that
of them, but
I know they're supposed to be. I don't think any of them are really there though.
but like the sun would melt them, you know.
If it was a flat Earth sun or if it was a globe Earth sun.
Like, just,
when you say the sun,
like,
are you referring to something that's very close to us and quite small, or the 93 million miles away, very far away sun in the classroom?
That's made the round sun and the round Earth.
The one you look at, just the one you see.
Yeah.
Why don't they melt satellites?
Yeah.
Good question. I would say that if we had satellites, the sun probably would melt them. But that's total speculation. I've no idea, and that's my answer off the top of my head. But I don't know. I don't think we have any. I don't think satellites are real. It's bullshit.
Yeah, but they said they are, didn't they?
Yeah, but no. You've seen my videos. Yeah. You've seen the pictures people send me. They're all crap. Yeah. None of them. That Mark Sargent guy said it better than I did. I mean, I hate nicking his ideas. Every single thing that I say seems to come straight from Mark Sargent's gob. You know what I mean? But he was like, why doesn't one satellite turn around, take a picture of another one? If they're so high up in geostationary orbit, just get one to point that way. And of all the things you could put on a satellite, especially one in geostationary orbit, why haven't any of them just got a camera on board? You know, pick up a camera for 50 quid. I was looking at the cameras in Curry's. I took a picture with it. I was like, no, 50 quid for a zoom camera with like zillion megapixels. And I was like, no, you can't do that for 50 quid. HD resolution screen on the back of it. Pressed it, took a picture, and I was like, it was sharp. Everything about it was wicked. And you're telling me they can't stick one of them on the next satellite that goes up and take a really good picture with it that doesn't need CGI?
How come they're messing about with Mars when they don't really know anything about the moon? Why did they get bored of the moon and move on to Mars for?
Good question, because they can't fake it twice. The problem with faking it again is, at the moment, we're saying, or the two camps of people, the flat earthers and the moon earth conspiracy people, are both saying, look at the footage, it's glaringly obvious, it blatantly didn't happen. Just, it looks like it's on strings because it is on strings. It looks like it's rear projection backdrop because it is rear projection backdrop. It looks like a sandy surface that's been set with props because it is. And the reason all of them look the same is because what they'll have done, and you can only know this from making footage, is you end up with a lot of footage that you don't use. So when they say things like, "Oh, the first time we had to take the lander taking off from the moon, when we first did that, the camera failed." So you go, "What do you mean the camera failed?" And you look at the footage, it's just a static shot. So someone's taken that shot, and it's an effect shot or a test. And when they've taken that test, they've gone, didn't quite look right, let's do it again. So they do it again, and then they end up with 5 or 6 tests, and the final one becomes the main special effect. Now, they thought they were making one moon landing. They've decided to spin it out because they can bleed the American population dry for tax money by having loads of them. And the reason they did that was made clear in like '94 by The Simpsons, because you've got Bart Simpson jumping over the sofa to get the remote control to turn off a rocket launch in like '94, and they've done rocket launches and made them boring so that people just switch off. They just go, the boring rocket. And that's why you end up with 1,000 satellites in space, so you keep sending shit up. But to the people who are doing the work on the ground, it's not like they know. They don't know it's being sent out into the ocean and it's crashed. And the ones that we see blow up that are supposed to have people on board that we now know are alive and well in teaching positions at universities.
That's good.
Well, yeah, it is good for them, but it's bad for the billions of dollars spent by the American public. I was saying this to my dad. Frankly, it makes me chuckle. We're British. We don't give a shit. Spend all the Americans' money, man. The pictures were wicked. I enjoyed them for ages. It's like the best film ever. No, it's not real. Oh, well, it's not cost me nothing.
Yeah, but they can spend that money on better stuff.
Absolutely. That's where it makes you want to. That's what makes me angry. Some people, you just think, why are you so angry at NASA? Especially the Brits. Who cares? It's not our money. But when you think, but you can have the same argument for war. You could say, why would you spend all that money going to war when you could equally spend the same amount of money,
spend it on hospitals,
putting vast amounts of agriculture into, parts of South Africa, or for us, medical care. Yeah, but not South Africa, just Africa. Oh, I noticed something really interesting. I'm sure it's probably just the graphic and the way they've designed it, but I'd have to have a look on the map. On one of those maps that they did with a sun going round, it had like the scorch marks of the desert perfectly lined up with the way that the sun was going around. In other words, they looked like, when you drag a door over a carpet over and over again, it eventually leaves like that mark along the edge of the carpet where the door's dragged. Well, on that flat Earth map, it had all of the deserts on all the continents lined up in like a scorch mark where the sun was travelling. I mean, I'm sure it's just part of the graphic that someone had designed. It makes you think, if it's going around in a circle where the barren lands are, that's a perfectly logical explanation. If the sun's constantly going around in the ring, scorching that bit over and over and over again, and then you end up with desert.
Do you ever go to Jupiter next when they're bored of Mars?
Jupiter's just light. We looked at Jupiter through the telescope. It's just blurry light. I mean, when you get a really shit hot telescope, I've seen some pictures. I've not looked through a lens at Jupiter. I'd love to, but when you see that what you end up with is, I can't remember who described it as having years. Plato, ancient. I don't know. Why not? We're doing it live feed. We might as well figure out how we do these things. So what do? I go to
What's this one?
go to this one, then I open a tab, then I type in a question for Google. So who said we're talking about Saturn, right? Or we're talking about Jupiter. Anyway, let's look it up anyway. Saturn
You just had a fact on
is
Saturn. I was just wondering where NASA would go when they're bored on Mars.
in our lifetime they won't get bored of Mars. That's like a dry till they can tell us that aliens have come from there. Who said? Here we go. Galileo, of course. Right.
Hallelujah.
So once I've got the article up, how do you do it? Go on.
Click it.
I am clicking it.
Look, it's doing its whirly whirl.
Oh, whirly whirl.
Well, then you go to your thing here.
While it's loading, go back to
And then
Google Hangouts.
share.
Share.
And
Go there.
then
Then click share. And what does that do? Just put that screenshot up.
Yeah.
Is it going to appear then?
So, do you have to present to them?
Present to everyone, yeah. What did that just appear at the top then?
Yeah. You are screen sharing and presenting to everyone.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. And then can you click along the tabs? So
Right.
So do you see how it's now sharing your mouse? You probably can't see on. What I want to know is when you're in that, how do you get to a different one?
Is it going to show me doing that, or is there a delay?
Oh, there you go. That was what did you do then? Because it made video delay. So that's what you. So if you go, I see. I always wondered how it caused it. So if you went to your video feed now, which is this one, because it's also
one?
sharing, yeah, it'll give video feedback. It'll cascade into itself. Anyway, stop. If you click stop sharing, just to stop that from happening.
What?
We're back on us. Okay, well, that was fairly straightforward.
Yeah.
Do you think we figured it out then?
I think so.
Okay, let's have a go then. So, what are these buttons?
Yeah, you bring the thing over here.
Oh, we still haven't figured out how to do the live chat.
Yeah.
So
I think we might need to ask Mr. YouTube for that.
should we do that then?
Yeah. And Mr. Google.
No, I'm gonna ask. How do you interact with your what's it called? Google Hangout audience.
Yeah.
How do you hang out with your? How do you interact? How to build and how to engage with your? Here we go. That's going to be it, isn't it? How to engage.
Yeah.
Should we watch this? It's had 15 views.
Yeah, sure. They probably saw our video and thought, Jesus, let's tell them.
Think about it also. There's one thing. When you go to an HOA, you have the list of all the people that have
No. This is going to be a PowerPoint presentation on how to conduct yourself as opposed to how to use Google Hangouts.
Maybe be more specific.
Okay, how to use Q&A in Google Hangouts.
Yeah. Oh, I'm really tired. It's
Okay, we're nearly done.
bedtime. Oh, jeez. Oh,
How to use Q&A in Google Hangouts. Is that right?
Yeah.
7,000 viewings. Must be good. Google says so.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 7 of SPI TV. Thank you for joining me today.
No
In this
worries.
video, I'm going to demonstrate you how you can run a free Google Hangout on Air Q&A session for you and your audience. This is going to do a number of things for you and your brand. And it goes
He's
along with
telling
the
us what he's
goal
gonna tell us.
creating events or
Mhm.
gigs for your audience that they can look forward to, that can build hype and buzz for you and your brand, and also get them to connect with each other as well. So let's go right to it.
Let's do that.
All right, here we are on Google Plus, and if you don't know how to get to your Google Plus page, typically if you're in something like Gmail, you can click on this little plus, then your username icon right there. But we're just
Nah,
going to go
don't
ahead
want
and go to
Mhm.
where it says home.
It's
and that's
so
where we
low
click
res
this
to your
menu,
camera on your
and we're going to click
laptop.
on Hangouts. Now we
It's
want to
better
click
than your
on
camera.
Hangouts
I
on
ain't got a
air
camera in
because
it.
remember,
It's coming
this
tomorrow.
is our live stream where we are on video and everybody else is watching. They're asking questions and we're interacting with them. A video hangout, not a hangout on air, but this video hangout option here, it's more so, you can consider that like a conference call or a meeting where everybody who is on that call with you has a video and you're all talking and that sort of thing. It's a lot more limited, and that's not what you want because those aren't broadcasted to the internet. Hangouts on air.
We don't want to know
that's
what we
you want. So click on Hangouts on air.
what we don't
Then
want.
create a hangout on air. And this is where we give our event a little bit of a name, a description. So I'm going to put SPI Live Q&A with @Fling. Put your brand name in there. Say it's live and a QA. People know what that is. And your name.
Live and a
Now,
QA
like
needs to go
before,
into the
ask me
title.
anything because people are used to that on
That's not.
Reddit.
That's just so
And,
that
of
people
course, you
know.
just want people to be open and ask you as many questions as possible. This is about interaction.
Ask me anything.
About getting your
So
audience
it's
involved
that's
and
keep it simple.
building authority.
Fair enough. I hadn't thought of
Then
it.
you
So
want to
put
put in
live
a
into
little
the title
description. You can put whatever you'd like.
and put
here to
Q&A
tell
into
people
the
it's
title
about.
if you've got a Q&A.
Join me for a 1.5-hour hangout where I will be fielding your questions live. Now you can start this now if you'd like, although obviously we haven't done any promotion for this, which is why it's smart to program this for later. And you can do that by clicking here on the calendar, say Friday, March 27th at 6 p.m. for an hour and a half. You can do it as long or as short as you want on any date that's good for you. And the good thing is, once you know what that date is and the audience that you happen to invite at the same time, whether it's public and you can invite different circles that you might have, circles that you've collected in Google Plus over time. They'll be able to see this and join and be reminded of it. If they say they're going to attend, it'll get automatically put into their calendars. Lots of really cool things happen. And of course, you'll have a date that you can plug into your social media feeds and streams or on your upcoming email newsletters to, again, build buzz and get people excited about coming on this particular date at this particular
What day is
time.
it?
And what's cool is Google Hangouts on
Tuesday.
Oh,
air
wicked! Got a day
will
off tomorrow.
automatically adjust the time according to their time
No,
zone.
no,
So
you-
here it
you
says
don't-
Pacific
you had a
time
day
in
off
LA.
today.
You want to make sure that matches where you're at and the time that you've selected. And whoever comes across the invite page, and they're going to see it at their time. So there's no confusion at all. Now, of course, you want this to be public because, again, this is open for everybody. You want everybody to see it. And you can ask anybody else, different circles or different people to come. I'm just going to put public for now, and then I'm going to share this. And then what happens is the page gets put as an event that's going to happen on that particular day. You can get a bunch of information here. You can change this in the details area here. You can edit event right there like that. And then you can also add a little theme. There's a lot of different cover arts and things you can use for this too. Some of them actually move or have moving pieces. Maybe not. I'll just use this one for now. And you can change the information there. Again, you'll see up here at the top, it adds that little image. Now, of course, if you have a logo or a brand that has a lot of imagery
Oh,
that
that's
people
nice.
are used to, you might put that there. And then you can copy and paste this particular page and send it out wherever you'd like. You can also grab links here to share the event page or the page that the YouTube feed will be at.
Ah,
And
that's
also,
cool.
this is important, the video embed page. If you have a live page on your site, perhaps it's just your website.com/live,
Cool,
you
we
can
can embed it.
embed this
Oh, I can embed it
video
on
in
Facebook.
there, and that will be the link that you send out to people. And
Can you
do
embed it
things
on
like
Facebook?
embed your own chat
feed?
form in there. Although I will recommend
Yeah,
for a Q&A, it's a
okay.
lot easier to manage, especially if you're by yourself. If you
Let's
use
try it.
Google Hangouts on Air's Q&A app.
Right now,
I'll
I
show you.
think you have to do it when you're making it. So you've got the
No, of
page.
course not. I can share this whenever I like. I can embed it. If you can embed a video, you can embed a live stream. Why not? It's just that you can.
Okay.
How do I get that bar up? Oh, here we go. So, chat, screen share.
That bar comes up when you first do the thing, doesn't it?
What
When you
thing?
create the event.
So,
Do you have to do it
You have
from
to
there?
capture the embed code when
Before
you
you
first
film.
start the event.
Yeah,
Hmm.
well, it makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, fair enough.
How to use that in a second. So I'm actually going to
Oh, no,
delete this
no,
event
no.
because this is not
It's-
happening
No,
on
no,
that
no,
day.
no. It's on your
And
it's on your Google Plus page. So that would be here. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Broadcast for free. Details. Edit event. Hmm. Yes, can I add photos? Well. Links. Ah, ha, ha. There we go. Right. So it gives you brilliant, man. It does the whole framing. It's a proper embed code. Excellent. Right. Let's cut this, and then can you go to Facebook, please? Just sign in. This works. I'll be amazed. I mean, this is the shizness. If it works. Read that off your audio, Paula. Your audio, Paula thing says, or your Paula Tom's Google Plus thing says, Hi-Fi is the shizness.
Yeah. It's the shizness.
Hi-Fi is the shizness. Shiznizzle. No. Sign to yours.
No, I don't want to sign to mine.
Why not?
I don't want mine.
But am I gonna?
Okay, I'll sign to mine.
I wanted to see if I could view it.
Oh.
So, I mean, if you want to do it that way, if you want to put it on mine, I don't mind, and you can monitor it on yours.
Sure, I can delete that.
Yeah, exactly. You know Facebook better than I do.
Yeah, that's why I don't want stuff on. I like to keep my stuff.
Sorry, did you say I want to keep my stuff private
Yeah.
on Facebook? Is that so? Well, you've picked the right place. It's like a vault. It's like a vault of safeness for all your private stuff, isn't it? Facebook.
Don't be nasty. Otherwise, I'll tie you nuts.
I am nuts.
Yeah. That weirdness.
Flat weirdness. You'd be a brilliant guest. You just think it's flat weirdness. You ask brilliant questions. You're like, what your questions are more pertinent than I've heard from anybody. Like, why do they keep going to the Mars when they could go back to the moon? Well, yeah, bang on, Paula. You've nailed that like so squarely onto the head. No, so squarely onto the head.
I don't know. We're both so tired. We
Oh no, it's 1 a.m.
we need to go to bed.
Oh,
now,
well, let's
thank
just embed this
you.
shit and then let's go to bed. Right, so
Post.
post precisely.
Something else.
Wait.
Right, no, you've got it.
So will this presumably new stories?
Okay.
Ah, here we go. Paula, hopefully.
Chicken video. I'll delete it.
That's right. I just want to see if it works because if it does, I'll tomorrow morning I'll set a time for like.
Oh, look, there's your face.
Does it start it? Does it do it live? That's the question. If it does, so tomorrow morning
Yeah.
Set time. No fucking way.
Oh, look, there's your face.
Uh-huh. That is so cool. You can live broadcast on Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm slightly taken aback by that. Aren't you? That is amazing.
Right, can I delete it now, please?
You can do what you like.
Don't.
That's cool.
Thank you.
I remember once, right?
Yeah,
I don't know. It was probably about,
Yes.
when was it? About 4 or 5 years ago,
Mhm.
and Sky Plus Mobile came out. What's it called? The one that's what's it called? Sky Go or something.
Mhm.
When Sky Go came out, right, I loaded that up on my phone and went up to somebody and went, "Look at that! Like TV on your phone. Isn't that the most amazing thing?" And people were like, they're the same sort of reaction to like when you say Flat Earth to them half the time.
Oh.
But for me, like I remember people saying, one day we'll have TV on our cell phones. It'll be, the capabilities will be there. And people were like, nah, it'll never do it. And yeah, they say all this sort of stuff. And then when it actually happened and you got TV on your phone,
Mhm.
I didn't give a crap about the content. It made you realise when you looked at it on the phone how garbage it all was.
Mhm.
When you're watching it going, what am I doing? Looking at this shit. Why am I watching this rubbish?
Yeah.
We need to get rid of Sky now. We don't watch it.
Yeah, no, it's a bit
If we
rubbish.
watch like one program a week.
I don't know, it's getting into winter now and there's more on.
Yeah, we said about video games. How many video games have we played?
Yeah, but video games are rubbish.
I've spent what?
You've spent, yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was a month solid of overclocking and messing around and
Driving nuts
installing drivers.
and getting the wrong cards.
Just endless faff. Just to get the game to work, which crashed a few times. The game being video games in general.
Yeah, the 3 that you have.
I've got I've got about 10. But they're just, how do
Yeah.
people spend thousands of hours on video games? I don't get it. I mean, I grew up with video games. I had every single one you could ever have.
I don't know.
No, but I don't mean that. I mean, my parents owned a computer shop. They were all on the shelf, and they were like, they'd take them out of the boxes so they wouldn't get thieved, and they'd just be in a box upstairs. And they'd be, I didn't know it at the time. I was just at school, but I'd come back, and in this box, they had, must have been, the equivalent today of like, £10,000 worth of video games. Just a massive box of discs of video games, and every one of them was 50 quid a game. This was in the like early 90s. Yeah, they were like horrendous. A cheap game was Omar Sharif's card game, and it was like 25 quid. And you bought anything good, Monkey Island or something, and it was horrendously expensive on PC. And I remember people showing me consoles, and because the folks had the computer shop, I'd go in and play on games and go, yeah, this is good fun. And then someone would go, oh, come and have a look at my Atari. And you go, oh, okay. And you go around and look, and you go, oh my God. Or a Commodore. Someone would have a Commodore 64, and they'd go, yeah, man, it's got games on it, and it's wicked. And you go around and you'd look at their Commodore 64, and you'd be like, holy Jesus, man, this is archaic. So I was really spoiled with games. I'd like, oh, the only ones I ever liked.
Spoiled.
Only because they had a shop. But now, the games are amazing. But it's like the racing game. I get it, and I think it wouldn't matter if I spent £5,000 on a simulator with the projector and the audio, and if I went to that extreme, right? Do you know what I'd think when I got out of it? Number one, I'd think, what a pain in the ass, what a load of wires, what a mess. And number two, I'd think, for 50 quid, I can go and buy a lemon and do donuts around, Leamington Spa in it if I tax it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And for 50 quid, I could just buy a banger. Why would you buy a simulator? when reality's right out there. I can just jump in a car and do it, or in the case of your car, you know, jump into something that's got loads of power, 300 horsepower, and can burn around in that.
No, you won't be doing
Opposite
that
lock on all the
anymore.
roundabouts. That's much more fun than any simulated car game. You know, it was great when I was 10 and I couldn't drive. Now, get out of my way. You know, much better in a car. Simulators are shite. What's the point of simulator? Ferrari, that was wicked. That was wicked, you know, loads of noise.
Yeah, you really love. It's time for bed.
It's time for bed.
I'm going to stop this broadcast because I don't want to play
We've still
anymore.
not figured out how to do the Q&A.
Well, I think we need to figure it out and then try again tomorrow. I'm going to figure it out now. It keeps saying disabled and I'm really tired and I'm going to bed.
Okay, let's sign off. No, you gotta say, I've been Paula Toms.
I've been making no clue. And
No,
I'll see
no.
you in the next
Come on,
one.
you gotta sign off properly.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.